Good evening, everyone. So I'm the lead social worker here at the New York Proton Center. My name is Chrissy Rubin. I'm really excited to be here with all of you this evening with my colleague Mark Ayala. And we are thrilled that you're joining us to talk about coping with stress during the holiday season. So a little bit of a background about me. I am coming up on my 5-year anniversary here at the Proton Center, January 12th. Looking forward to that milestone. And prior to coming here to the New York Proton Center, I worked for 5 years doing home visits for Visiting Nurse Service of New York, which is now known as VNS Health. And prior to that, I worked at the wonderful nonprofit Cancer Care, which some of you might have heard of. They offer free services to people with cancer and their families. And I was a career changer at that time and started my social work career in that first job in January of 2009. So I've been around for a little bit and I'm excited to be with all of you tonight. And I'll pass it over to my colleague, Mark.
Thanks, Chrissy. Welcome, everyone. My name is Mark Yella, the other social worker part of our team here at the Proton Center. I've been with the Proton Center now for about going on 4 years. It's been an amazing experience just meeting our patients and our staff. Previously, before the Proton Center, I worked at Mount Sinai as well as some other nonprofits throughout New York City, just assisting individuals with mental illness. So definitely looking forward to providing some helpful tools for you guys during the holidays.
Okay. We'll just dive right in here. So it's the holiday season, as we all know from that song. It's the holiday season. I won't sing for you, just that one lyric, because we hear that song over and over and over again, starting the day or minutes after Thanksgiving, or maybe even before. These days, before Thanksgiving, the holiday season is in full swing. So is it really the most wonderful time of year? As you can see here, just some pictures of what holidays look like and what we sort of hope for and expect and what the media tells us the holidays should look like. So we want the cozy, warm fire, and we want the beautiful tree and the beautifully set table with the meals. And that ideal isn't necessarily the case for people going through treatment and their families. So yes, it's the holiday season, but how do we really feel about that? Next slide, please. So I like to think of this time as the stress trifecta. And starting with Thanksgiving, then we get into Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and then New Year's. This time of year, a lot of people say, is it January 2nd? Just take me to January 2nd because they're ready for this, ready for that ball to drop and ready to move on into the new year. Some people were diagnosed in this current calendar year and are wanting to put this year in the rearview mirror. As you can see, holiday traffic, many of you drive to our center, and that middle graphic shows us what it looks like on the FDR drive, probably at this very moment. So people are stressed out during this time, and we want to help support you and give you some tools during this stress trifecta. Next slide.
Oh, yep. And how do you really feel? So, as Chrissy mentioned, during the holidays, it can bring up a number of emotions and just how you're feeling. Some of those could be worry, fear, anxiety, sadness, anger, disappointment, resentment, jealousy. So, it's just a number of feelings you could feel. You could feel one of these or all of these at the same time. So, it's definitely understandable what you're feeling during the holidays season for whatever reason it may be. And just knowing that it's okay to feel that way. It brings up a lot of emotion and stress and pressure during the holiday season. So just understanding your triggers, understanding that it's okay to feel that way during the holiday season because of just so much that may be going on. It's okay to not be okay, really.
And just to piggyback on that, Mark, if you wouldn't mind, thank you.
Hmm.
Um, all of these feelings are valid, and you're okay. You're allowed, excuse me, you're allowed to have time to feel your feelings. You don't have to push them away. You don't have to say, well, I should be feeling this way or I shouldn't be feeling this way. Your feelings are valid. So we want to, as social workers, part of what we do is validate people's feelings. So whatever you're feeling right now, it might be, you know what, I'm just annoyed. Your feelings are valid. So know that, and also know that any feeling and every feeling doesn't last forever. And that includes joy. But it also includes every one of these feelings that might have a negative connotation. Feelings don't last forever, and feelings are not facts, they are feelings. So you're allowed to have your feelings, feel them, and let them run through you. But you can sit with your feelings and learn to tolerate them. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, great point, Chrissy. And just to give a bit more statistical information regarding stress around the holidays, this is from a study from the American Psychological Association titled "Even a Joyous Holiday Season Can Cause Stress for Most Americans." So U.S. adults feel overwhelmed during the holidays. Nearly 9 in 10, 89%, cite the following concerns: financial stress, missing loved ones, family conflict, mental and emotional stress. According to the 2023 APA study, while nearly half of the U.S. adults, 49%, would describe their stress levels during the traditional U.S. holiday season between November and January as moderate, around 2 in 5, 41%, said their stress increases during this time compared with other points in the year. While stress appears to be common at this time of the year, 43% said that the stress of the holidays interferes with their ability to enjoy them, and 36% said the holidays feel like a competition. So as we can kind of states here, it's just around the holiday time, it just brings up so many expectations and pressure on oneself as far as traditions and sort of planning around the holidays, and it can feel very overwhelming, for anyone, especially when you're going through cancer and you're thinking about your treatment, or if you're in follow-up protocol, just a lot of things that's on your mind that can create a lot of pressure on you.
Yeah, Mark and I were talking about this earlier as we were reviewing our slides. This last bit about 36% said the holidays feel like a competition. Many of us know that when you receive that first Christmas card, holiday card, and you see what looks like the perfect family, that can really bring up a lot of compare and despair. Like, this person's life is so perfect. Why is my life this way? Why me? Um, they have, a bigger house, they have cuter children, whatever it is about competition. The holidays can amp that up and make us feel perhaps less than. So it's important to keep that in mind. You're not alone in that feeling. So changes in stress level during the holiday season. This is just some the increases and the stays the same decreases about that were taken from this APA study. So the stress level increases for 41% said that the stress level increases. 52% said the stress level stays the same, and 7%, I'm not sure who those 7% are, but God bless them, that stress decreases during the holidays. This just is basically the same information, but the survey was conducted, the 2023 survey was conducted by the APA, as we said, among 2,061 adults by the Harris poll between November 14th and November 16th of 2023. So right as that holiday trifecta, if you will, was starting. So a perfect audience being captured at the right time to gather this data regarding stress during the holidays. So causes of stress during the holiday season. Nearly, Mark, can you read this slide for me? I'm having a little trouble seeing it, to be honest, from where I sit.
Sure.
Thank you.
Nearly 9 in 10 U.S. adults say something causes them stress during the holiday season. So that's at 89%. And then the most common reportedly sources of holiday stress, just some examples are spending too much time or not having enough money to spend, finding the right gifts, missing family or loved ones, having too much to do, feeling pressure to make the holiday special, food or alcohol related issues, not being able to spend time or be with family or loved ones, experiencing or anticipating family conflict, feeling left or excluded, and traveling.
Thank you, Mark. My glasses only get me so far.
No,
So
no
thank you for your
worries.
thank you everyone for your patience. But these are some interesting this is some interesting data. When you look at the 58% is mostly stressed out about money, about spending too much or not having enough money to spend. And I think that is very telling about what we're seeing people go through, not only during the holidays, but with the financial stressors around being someone who is in treatment for a cancer diagnosis. The financial aspect of this is important for us to be mindful of and to really take note of, because we can help with resources here at the New York Proton Center. Through Mark and myself, our social work department, we can talk to you about financial resources.
Okay, so now let's get to tools.
All right. So some key strategies for stress management. Self-care. Everybody hears about self-care all the time. Prioritize self-care and rest. Self-care is it's not optional. It really has to be a priority. So first off, listen to your body. Rest when you are tired and schedule naps. Engage in relaxing activities. Make time for self-care activities such as reading, listening to music, taking a warm bath, or light exercise like a short walk. Maintain a healthy lifestyle, stick to a balanced diet, stay hydrated, and limit alcohol and sugary foods to maintain energy levels. Consult your healthcare team, talk to your doctor about your physical limitations, travel plans, or dietary restrictions to ensure all activities are safe within your treatment plan. Now, I want to just reiterate a few things. First off, listen to your body. When it comes to rest, how are you sleeping at night? This is an opportunity for you to look at what are my sleep patterns? How am I sleeping? Am I tired? Do I need to schedule naps? And there are opportunities for if you need to take a nap, you can take a power nap. It doesn't have to be something that takes up too much time for your within your day. I sometimes listen to a 30-minute nap guided meditation. And that is such a reset and a recharge for me in the middle of the day. And just between you and the 10 of us, I sometimes go to our wellness room where we have a recliner and I just put my earbuds in and I listen to um, that guided meditation. And it's a great way for me to unplug from all the busyness and get away from the stressors of my day and do some self-care, put the oxygen mask on myself first so that I can be supportive to all of you and all of the people that we serve. Um, Relaxing activities that we don't have to take ourselves too seriously. Listening to music, sometimes, just listening to music and dancing around the kitchen can be a self-care activity. Taking a short walk, and that doesn't have to mean like I'm going for a power walk for 5 miles in the park. I can just take a walk around the corner, take a loop around the block just to get some fresh air and get myself out of these cold cabin fever days. Get out and get some of that cold, fresh air, get some daylight, get some sunshine, some vitamin D. It's good for us. Um, a balanced diet, balance and moderation. Make sure you're hydrating, which I should do right now, actually. Um, I drink hopefully at least two of these filled with water every day. And here at the center, we have a place where there's bottled water over by our coffee nook, and we have a a water filter where you can bring in your own refillable cup to save on those plastic bottles. And then consulting with your healthcare team. There's wonderful information from Cancer Care about having conversations with your healthcare team. Don't be afraid to ask questions. use a notebook, write things down, ask those questions that you might feel a little nervous about asking. You have a right to ask questions, and you have rights to have the dialogue that is comfortable for you and important to you. Thanks, Mark. Okay. HALT. What does HALT even mean? What are we talking about? Okay. So, the word halt, this is an opportunity to pause and take time to ask yourself some questions. So, first, take a moment to ask yourself these four questions. Am I hungry? Am I angry? Am I lonely? Am I tired? So, in the middle of your day, if you're starting to feel irritable, unreasonable, unruly, sad, any number of feelings that, for me today, I started to feel a little bit lightheaded and I realized, whoa, I need some protein. It's time to have some lunch. Pause and ask yourself those four questions. Do I need to eat? Do I need to have a snack? Am I thirsty? Do I need to hydrate? Am I angry? Do I need to get away from a situation that's bothering me, whatever that situation might be, a person, um, a, a anything that can bring up some anger. Take a walk around the block, pound a pillow. Am I lonely? Do I need to connect with someone? Do I need to call a friend? Do I need to reach out and ask for help? And am I tired? Again, how is my sleep? Am I getting enough sleep? Do I need to rest? Do I need to take a nap? So at any point in your day, you can halt and ask yourself those four questions. Am I hungry? Am I angry? Am I lonely? Am I tired?
Yeah, Chris, I think that's just a great way of just really checking in with yourself, right? No one knows you better than you. So you know when you're feeling hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. And it's best to really just kind of be present with yourself and take care of yourself. So, as part of taking care of yourself, how to protect your mental health during this season. Accepting imperfection. I think we're always our harshest critics on ourselves. We're very hard on ourselves, whether it be expectations of, what we're doing in our daily lives and how we want things. And unfortunately, life is life, and we can't control everything. So it's really just focusing and understanding that you can only control what's in front of you, and you can only control what you can control, meaning that you can control how you feel. That's how you react to things. That's what's in your control. In others, in ourselves and in others. So just accepting that. Don't lose sight of what really counts. So prioritizing your time with what's most important. So trying your best to not really sweat everything. If you can say to yourself, I'll take care of this, and prioritizing what's important to you in the moment, I think is best rather than trying to do everything at once. Being kind, starting with yourself and with others. So really giving yourself patience and giving yourself grace. Again, it's just kind of the idea of just being so much pressure on yourself with our daily lives and trying to make everything work, but understanding that that's not always possible and really just trying to be patient and giving grace to yourself. Finding time to decompress, have fun, reset and rest and reset. So just finding time to yourself to take a break, really just slow down and finding something that will kind of take that stress, whatever it may be stressing off with you, and finding time to make time for yourself and just really just allow that stress to leave if you can. Ask for and accept help. So I think this really is hard for individuals, especially since as adults we are independent and we have our own agency and we want to be able to do things on our own. And sometimes we feel like maybe asking for help may be a burden to others, when really our friends and loved ones may really want to help, but may not know how. So it's best to try to communicate with our loved ones that you need help with something, whether it's traditions, whether it's about for the holidays as far as making plans to travel or cook. And if you're not up to it, it's okay to say, hey, I think I'm going to need a little help with this. And I think you'll find that most people are willing to help when you ask and also receiving it, right?
Great point, Mark. Also on the asking for and accepting help. A lot of people are really independent and don't want to ask for help. And one thing I remind people of is that when you allow someone to help you, it makes them feel good. So it's actually opportunity for you to give them a gift. And I would venture to guess that many of you are the first to volunteer to help others. So when you allow someone else to help you, then that gift, it's just something that is invaluable to others. So remember that allowing someone to help you is a gift to them. They feel good about themselves. And it's hard. Yes, it's hard to ask for. Many people, wear a Superman cape, a Superwoman cape. And this is the time to, to not be closed off to allowing people to help because it can make a huge difference in your life. So managing expectations. Some of us keep our wants, needs, thoughts, and feelings to ourselves, expecting that anyone who truly loved us would somehow figure them out or at least ask the right questions at the right time. So this comes from a book called How Al-Anon Works for Families and Friends of Alcoholics. And it's not something from the cancer space, but it really applies. People want others, our closest friends and family members, to know what we want and need. And if we don't communicate what we want and need, then we're not going to get those wants and needs met. So it's really important to express ourselves, express our thoughts and feelings, our wants and needs, rather than keeping all of that inside. And then that can help with managing expectations. And speaking of expectations, expectations are premeditated resentment. So, what does that even mean? When we expect too much of ourselves and of others, we're setting ourselves up for a resentment. So, what's the reality and what's the expectation? And when we can really manage that, manage those expectations, then we we're managing what could come down the pike as a resentment. And I know I've done this time and time and time again. And all of this, everything we're telling you is it's easy for us to say, and it's easier said than done. But if you can work on managing expectations, then you're nipping in the bud a resentment waiting to happen.
And as far as communication goes, no is a complete sentence. I'll say that one more time. No is a complete sentence. It's actually one of my favorite words. I use it with my dog every day as well as my wife. I'm not sure she's a fan of it, but we're balancing that out. But really, it's about understanding that it's okay to say no. Just like you mentioned, Chrissy, as far as expectations go, especially around the holidays, you're expected to be happy, you're expected to do things with family. And maybe, depending on how things are going, maybe you're just not up to it this holiday season. But you're so used to the traditions that you kind of will say, okay, yes, I'll do it, but you really don't want to. So being understanding that it's okay to say no if you feel like you're not in the right place mentally, physically, it's understandable to say, you know what, I'm not up for this. It's okay to say no, and I'd rather maybe form a new tradition if possible and communicate that with loved ones.
The other thing about no, Mark, is oftentimes, at least in my experience, is that sometimes people say no and have a whole list of excuses and reasons why they have to say no, that they have to back it up with, well, I can't do that because I this and the that and the other thing and the. And like this says, Mark was very clear, no is a complete sentence. There doesn't have to be a long list of why the answer is no. It can just be no.
That's a great point, Chrissy. And going into self-care, uh, just carving out time for yourself. Some examples could be like exercising, yoga, spiritual practices, meditation, reading, any hobbies you may have, really diving into any sort of arts or journaling, music, maybe binging your favorite show, maintaining your sleep schedule. balancing your favorite holiday foods and beverages with healthier options. And if you need additional support, of course, seeking out support through loved ones, support groups, mental health counseling. It's really just about self-care. It's just about finding what balances you out, especially when it comes to any type of stress, whether regarding the holidays or just stress in general. Just finding time to be present, understand what's triggering you, and finding a way to take care of yourself.
I think balance is a really key word in this, Mark. That, in just that bullet point itself, balance favorite holiday foods, beverages with healthier options. It's about balance. It doesn't mean don't have your favorite holiday foods, don't drink any alcohol, don't do this, don't do that. It doesn't have to be a directive. It can be, I'll have a little of this, I'll have a little of that. Um, so really finding that are that you like and enjoy in moderation. Moderation is a good word along with balance, I think. Okay, so this is something I came across just over the weekend that I wanted to share with you and read aloud. Go little. When everything feels too big, go little. Wrap yourself with grace and space. Nibble your to-dos just one tiny bit at a time. You can't outrun overwhelm, my friend, but you can stay so still that it passes you by. If you want to get more done, do less. Stress dissipates in the face of guilt-free, intentional rest. And that is by Donna Ashworth. So thank you. Mark, you want to go over resources?
Yes, and just to provide additional resources, it's definitely some resources we share with patients. Cancer care, they offer support groups, counseling, education, and financial assistance. And they do also offer as far as support for caregivers as well. So it's really a great resource not only for patients, but to share with caregivers for extra support too. Psychology Today is a great website if you're looking for a mental health provider. They can give you information on finding a therapist, psychologist, counselor. It's a really great website where you can type in your zip code and find providers near you as well as your insurance. And I really like the website because it also gives you pictures of your providers too. So you can find as far as, to see what they look like and get a little bit more information. And another resource is the National Alliance on Mental illness, so that's NAMI. So they also offer education, support, and advocacy, and they also offer support group resources too. So if you're looking for support groups, they're a great website to check out as well.
I want to stress something about cancer care. Thanks, Mark.
Hmm.
Since I used to work there, that when you call them, they have an 800 number. Their website is very robust with wonderful information, including all of their publications, which are free, as are all their services. And thank you, Mark, for mentioning the caregiver supports, which are very robust. I used to work specifically with, or a lot with caregivers when I worked there. I ran some caregiver support groups. And did individual counseling, et cetera. But when you call cancer care, you're not reaching a call center on the other side of the world. You are calling this organization that's been around for 81 years, headquartered here in New York City, that provides services to people all over the world. So when you call them, you're speaking to a social worker. A social worker answers the phone, and they will assess your needs with you. You, as a caregiver, can call a family member, a loved one, or you as the person with the cancer in your body. And that social worker will do an assessment to see what are your needs, how they can help you. And I recently referred a current patient of ours for supportive counseling. She and I are working together here doing individual counseling. But when she finishes treatment, she wants to find someone else. So she's reached out to cancer care and has someone who's going to contact her about counseling services. So their services are completely free. And when you do individual counseling with them, it's short-term supportive counseling, solution focused for a limited number of weeks. And and they have their support groups are all virtual. So their services are all virtual at this point. There are certain things that they do in their office, and it's limited now, like in the post-COVID era. But I can't recommend them enough. Well, we are so glad that you've been with us tonight. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, me. Thank you, AJ.
Thanks, everyone.
And again, do you have anything else, any other housekeeping we need to tell them about?
No, I think and you can always share this with caregivers as well. We're gonna cut out the part of the Q&A. So if you don't want to be if you don't want that part in there, that's all right. So the presentation will be live and you guys will receive the link within a few days, okay?
Great.
Thanks for
Thanks.
being
Thanks
here
for
this evening.
everyone.
Yeah, thank you all. And thank